I
Yeah.
think we have a very good habit of making things more complicated as humans. Like even as you were talking through, like Rob, when you were saying mirror to then steam to then generator to then, it's all these like step, 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 step. Whereas like, what Derek's talking about is like the ability for it to literally just naturally heat.
Like Dirk was touching on this earlier. It's just like, um, I think there's been some, I don't want to call them to say nefarious, but like intentionality around making things more complex than they need to be,
Hmm.
for reasons of control and power. And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, that literal figurative power. It's like, if we control the power and the energy, then we have this power. And so like, if they can, if there's groups that have decided to intentionally create, um, energy, like machines or whole companies, whole infrastructures that are dependent on a certain type of technology, a certain type of fuel, they can, and that can be controlled. That's where this whole thing comes in. It's like, let's make it as complex as we can, to make it super inefficient, and that creates all these little kind of areas for profit making. It's an interesting thing that it's kind of evolved this way, but really, yeah, like it's kind of gone backwards to the point where we now, this, I think you've all heard that. I distributed this thing a couple weeks ago about this guy who was talking about how crazy it is if you think it had gone the other way, where we had invented electric vehicles first, and then all of a sudden today someone was like, let's do these like internal combustion engine things. Let's build these crazy complex machines that burn fuel and this flammable liquid that you have to transport all around Earth. And they got like, let's do that. People would be like, why would we ever do that? Like, we have these amazing, super efficient machines that run on electricity. Why would we ever do that? And it's like backwards, but like there's so many things like that where we're finally coming around to this idea that the simplest thing is often the best.